Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to be taking a look at a new Bewear, and I ummed and ahed about giving Bewear its own video, and then I went, well, hang on a second, well, see, it's your channel. You know you can make whatever videos you want, right? And then I realized it is my channel, and I can make whatever videos I want. So let's have a chat about Bewear. Although before we start talking about Bewear, I really do want to just give a quick shout out to this Stuffle. It is, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation for which I can only apologize, but it has been drawn by Okacheka here. And oh my goodness, I adore that lovely person's art style. And this Stuffle in that art style with that sky, come on. There are few Pokemon cards we've had recently, especially common cards, that have looked this gosh darn good. Although if we take a look at the Stuffle, there is basically nothing special about it whatsoever. 70 HP, 1 energy 10, 2 energy 30. Let's not get overly excited. I mean, the artwork, let's get super excited. The card itself, let's not get overexcited. Incidentally, as we move on to Bewear, this is actually only the second fighting type Bewear we've had. This is Bewear number 8 overall, and only the second one that's ended up being fighting. The previous one was the one from Crimson Invasion, which did do 120 to an evolution Pokemon, but it was a bit expensive and it never ended up being particularly good. In fact, Bewear constantly looks really interesting, and then ends up not being particularly good. Incidentally, as well as being only the second fighting type Bewear, it is also the second Bewear that we've had in this particular block after the Bewear from Rebel Clash. The Bewear from Rebel Clash, interesting, ended up being way too expensive. Can this one be a little bit better? Translation from the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net. So, starting off then, if we have a little bit of a look at the basics here, we've got 130 HP, which is good, because 120 is a bad type of HP, and I keep mentioning Urshifu, because it's super relevant, so, you know what? Yeah, we like having 130 HP, that'll do, pig. Then we got a retreat cost of 3, which is kind of annoying, honestly, and a weakness to Psychic, which isn't terrible, but all the Urshifu are weak to Psychic, so don't be surprised. Oh yeah, I should also mention Shadow Rider Calyrex might be the best deck right now. So yeah, that's actually not a good weakness at all. But you are a fighting type, and being a fighting type means that you get to hit a really good weakness against stuff like Crobat and Eternatus and things of that nature, so that's pretty good. Unfortunately, you're neither Single Strike nor Rapid Strike. Evidently, Bewear has not picked a side. Now, what we've got here for 1 colorless, 1 fighting energy is 40 damage plus confusion. And this is why I really want Bewear to be a Single Strike Pokemon. Because if Bewear comes around as a Single Strike Pokemon, we can use Houndoom to accelerate 1 of the energy, and then we can use Single Strike energy to do extra damage, etc. On a Single Strike Bewear, and incidentally I do believe Bewear would go nicely as a Single Strike Pokemon, I could really get involved with this. I could like this. But he's not a Single Strike Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. He's not, which is really annoying. Now, the example I often use along these lines is Circuitry. Circuitry came along as single energy, 20 damage plus confusion. Now, Bewear has more HP and Bewear does twice as much damage, but also takes twice as much energy. And the thing is here, I liked that Circuitry. That Circuitry was awesome. But that Circuitry was largely awesome for the basic Pokemon single energy. That's what was really good about that Circuitry. That was the hook. This doesn't have that same hook. 2 energy, 40 damage. Now, 40 damage is nice, and especially if you're hitting for weakness, this is going to get some cool stuff. You will annoyingly be 10 damage away from getting a Chinchino, but that's nothing a Vitality Band or a Galarian Zigzagoon couldn't go and fix. Okay, so that's not bad. The problem here, and obviously confusion's super annoying. Confusion means that your opponent has to flip a coin to attack, and if they flip tails, the attack fails, and they do 30 damage to themselves, which generally people don't really want to do. So again, I'm kind of liking this. But I want it to be for 1 energy. You're already a stage 1 Pokemon. You're already waiting a turn before you can actually go ahead and use this. Now you're telling me that I've got to attach a 2nd energy as well. Have we got ways to attach the energy? B will work rather nicely. Well, I say that. B can work rather nicely. Obviously, B is imprecise, I think is the polite way to put it. So what you do is you discard the top 5 cards of your deck, and any of them that are energy cards, whether fighting or otherwise, can be attached to your bench fighting Pokemon, which would include Stuffle and Bewear. So in that regard, cool, that would work. But do you want to use that? The other option, of course, we've got is the Galarian Zapdos, which has the same ability as, say, Darkrai Prism Star, although obviously for fighting energy, which is to say when you bench it, you can attach 2 extra fighting energy from your hand to it. And then from there, you just use something like an energy switch and you're rolling. And maybe you can. Maybe you can use something like a Galarian Zapdos and then start playing around with energy switch, getting the energy onto your Pokemon and going from there. That could absolutely work. Here's the problem. Is it good enough? Because if we go to the 2nd attack, free energy 130. And on the one hand, I really appreciate the fact that you are hitting 130, not 120. We talk about the difference between them quite a lot. That is wonderful. And you're hitting a really good weakness here. So there is every possibility. You'll get a straight 1-hit KO on an Eternatus V. Not the V Max, unfortunately, but an Eternatus V. And you'll get a straight 1-hit KO on a Crobat, which is lovely. But there's a lot to ask here. You're mucking around a lot. Free energy on a stage 1 Pokemon when we don't have a really just nice, easy way to move the energy over? Like I say, Galarian Zapdos plus Energy Switch works, but you can't tell me it's not a super awkward way to go about doing things. And then I remember that stage 1 fighting Pokemon are my thing. And anyone that's been following this channel will know stage 1 fighting Pokemon are my thing. Except it's not really stage 1 fighting Pokemon, it's stage 1 fighting Pokemon that can be used for a single energy, and Bewear very much cannot be used for a single energy. Up till now, my boy has been Excadrill, although that is going to be rotating out. Excadrill, single energy, 120, and fine, you have to discard the top 4 cards of your deck, but when your deck gets down to 3 or fewer cards remaining, it's single energy, 180, which is pretty good. I've been playing around a lot with Donphan, and Donphan's kind of cool. Donphan for 1 energy does 120. You do have to do 20 to all of your bench, but then Phanpy's got an outrage attack, so that can work. Even something like Mean Shao, and believe me, I've tried, ladies and gentlemen. I have tried with Mean Shao. It's not working. But the good news is you can attack for a Rapid Strike energy and do 90 damage plus confusion. Then you go back to the hand. And then your opponent KOs 1. And if you don't have 3 out at all times, it goes very, very, very wrong. Which is one of the main reasons the deck, I've just not been able to get it working. And then we end up with Bewear. And I go back to this and I just go, well, can I really, like me, the person who loves stage 1 fighting Pokemon in this game more than any other, and incidentally, I really don't think there are many people out there that have played stage 1 fighting Pokemon as much as I have. I think that is a claim that I can make. Even I don't think I can find much use for this. We can look at the Lycanroc from Chilling Reign, which incidentally is a single strike Pokemon. 2 fighting energy, 80 damage plus 10 more for each single strike Pokemon in your discard pile. That's a super interesting card that we can absolutely get behind. That seems like one that could be fun. And it's easier to use than Bewear. And this is my biggest problem. I can just keep pointing out Stage 1 fighting Pokemon that I would rather play instead. Even the Sandaconda from Battle Styles. Now that's a super awkward attack. Discard the top 6 cards of your deck, 60 damage for each fighting energy discarded in this way. But using something like Energy Recycler in the late game, and then just stacking your deck full of energy, and then rolling the dice and just seeing how much damage you can do, that sounds cool. I love Bewear. I love talking about Bewear. I love my multiple Bewear plushies. I currently have a vendetta against a large online UK retailer who ripped me off at an in-person event by demanding more money for a Bewear plushie after I'd already paid. Which, incidentally, is not legal. I legally owned it at that stage, but I was working the event and I couldn't argue with them, and it was super annoying! But I don't know if I can love this card. I'm going to have to give it between 2 and 3 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I don't think it's out and out terrible. But I look at this and I go, that Confusion should be a 1 energy attack. This should be a single strike Pokemon. There are so many Stage 1 fighting Pokemon I would rather play. And then I just end up going, oh, I think I've just given multiple reasons why I'm not going to be playing this card. And with my obvious love of both Bewear and Stage 1 fighting Pokemon, if I'm not getting excited about a Stage 1 fighting Bewear, I am really not sure many other people are going to be, and that makes me very sad indeed. But I do want to know what you think about this, and I want to know if you like this more than I do, or maybe if you like this as much as I want to. So go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.